Hey everybody, it's Gamer Gramps here. Today we are going to be going through the first look at the Civ 6 September patch that's going to be coming out to those of us who have New Frontier Pass on September 24th. Going to be going over what's included and then giving my impressions on what we know so far, so if that sounds like it's something that you might want to watch, then definitely stick around. If you want to get good at Civ 6, then subscribe and click the bell to keep up with this channel. Alright, so first things first, there will be timestamps that are pinned at the top of the comment section if you want to jump throughout the video, or if you prefer, there's an easier way that you can do it. If you highlight your mouse over the little time bar here at the bottom of the video, if you're on PC for sure, I think it still does work on mobile, but anyway, you can see the different chapters, what the chapter title is, and just jump to whatever section you're interested if you don't want to watch this whole thing through. Other than that though, we're basically going to take a few minutes here. I'll have the video in here, and then after the video, we'll go through and actually dissect what information we're about to find out from the developers, and then I'll give my own personal impressions on the things that we do find out throughout the course of the video. So without any further ado, I'm going to get rid of my ugly face here and let's quickly watch the video together.
Hello and welcome to the latest developer video for Sid Meier's Civilization VI.
Today we'll be introducing you to the new content headed your way in the third DLC of the New Frontier Pass.
The two new civilizations coming your way in the DLC 3 content pack are Byzantium and Gaul. Coming with those two new civilizations are two new leaders, new districts, and new units. In addition to that, we have two new world wonders, a new map script, and a new game mode.
As much as we don't want to keep you in suspense until the first looks for those civs, that's exactly what we're going to do.
What we can tell you is that Byzantium is all about conquest, be it militarily or religiously. Meanwhile, Gaul has some beefy boosts related to culture and production. But don't mistake the Gauls for peace-loving artists in an off-the-grid commune. We had a lot of fun brainstorming animations for Gaul's leader in particular. Thus far for Civilization VI, we haven't used motion capture technology. We've done everything by hand. But we do start with reference videos to experiment with different movements and help everyone visualize what the animations will look like. We wanted the leader of Gaul to have some props to really reflect that heritage. Props obviously make the reference videos a lot more fun, but they can be challenging to animate in a 3D environment. We pulled it off though. Our art teams are pretty insanely talented.
Speaking of art, this DLC pack introduces two new world wonders. Build the biosphere to increase appeal for marsh and rainforest tiles. In Gathering Storm, it will also boost power and tourism. While in other rule sets, it grants bonus science for every marsh, rainforest, or woods tile. The Statue of Zeus gives free military units to the city that builds it, and increases production towards anti-cavalry units. We'll also be introducing a new map script, the Highlands. This vast, sweeping landscape is dominated by hills and mountain ranges. These will present some interesting strategic and tactical choices, and challenges for certain civs, like Korea, Ethiopia, and even Bull Moose Teddy, with his passion for national parks.
The Byzantium and Gaul pack will also introduce a new game mode.
Dramatic Ages!
Years ago, we played around with a prototype where Dark Ages felt really dark. Back-to-back Dark Ages would actually cause you to lose cities and turn them into barbarian camps. This turned out to be so frustrating that the QA team raided my office with pitchforks and demanded that it be taken out. We've always liked the idea of a Dark Age being more threatening, and a Golden Age being more rewarding. Dramatic Ages is an optional game mode, where civilizations will always enter either a Golden Age or a Dark Age with every new era. Instead of dedications, every new age brings access to new and updated golden policies and dark policies. Our research also showed that some of you out there, surely no one watching this video, but some of you, were trying to game your era scores to not go past what you needed to earn a Golden Age. In Dramatic Ages, era score is
No, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Is never wasted. If you enter a Golden Age with any extra era score, it will increase citizens' loyalty pressure on nearby civs. Additionally, the chaos brought by Dark Ages can cause your cities to immediately rebel.
Dramatic Ages also reworks one of our older civs, Georgia. With the Dramatic Ages mode enabled, Georgia can use Dark Age policies even in a Golden Age. Golden Ages also reward Georgia an extra wildcard slot, in addition to the current 50% production boost toward defensive buildings.
Finally, the challenges presented by the Dramatic Ages scale really well with the game's existing difficulty settings. On lower difficulties, the AI loses more cities than humans do in the Dark Ages. However, on higher difficulties, the player loses more cities than the AI, giving you a chance to really earn those victories.
And that sums up the major features going live in DLC 3.
The Gaul civilization,
Byzantium civilization,
The Biosphere,
the Statue of Zeus,
the Highlands map.
and the optional game mode, Dramatic Ages.
You can find a full list of changes, fixes, and tweaks in the DLC 3 patch notes. Civ fans, you are the best fans in gaming.
We are honored to have such a dedicated and passionate fan base.
Thank you for sticking with us and taking one
More.
Turn.
All right, so unfortunately, we don't get the sneak peek of the actual civilizations themselves that are coming out in the September 24th edition of the new Frontier Pass. However, at least now we know speculation is over for the first two of them, and let's get into that now. So we have Byzantium and Gaul have been announced that they're coming here. To be completely honest, I'm a little bit let down by the Gaul choice. I'm okay with the Byzantium, no problems there. Interested to see what they're all about and learn more about civilization as we actually get more information on them, and then checking out in like the Civilopedia and stuff so that I just personally can learn more about a civilization that I'm not really that familiar with in general. However, their choice for Gaul to me is a bit disappointing simply because we already have France in the game. Not only do we have France in the game, we also have a new persona for the French leader, and then we also have like Eleanor too who can play for France. So to me, I'm a little bit disappointed, like I said, because there's already so many iterations of France in the game that Gaul, at least to my understanding, and let me know in the comments down below if I'm just completely out to lunch here. From my awareness of history, Gaul is basically France before it like officially became France. So, but other than that, that's really my only critique. We don't know exactly who their leaders are going to be or whatnot. However, we did get a little glimpse of their units. So let's jump forward to that now, shall we? All right, so we got a little bit of a sneak peek at the Byzantium's unique unit. It looks like they're going to have a unique quadrime because it's shooting range, so I'm assuming it's not just another rendition of the galley, but I'm not 100% sure. I think so because it looks like there is a tile spacing between them, but that might also just be the animation of the attack itself, so not 100% at that point. But it would make sense that they do have a unique quadrime because realistically there's already so many different unique galleys that are in the game that it's kind of like a little bit redundant at this point to add yet another one. And I mean, how creative could they get with the unit? So at least I assume they went with the quadrime here to have some more flexibility, and look forward to finding out more about that unit. So moving along here, if you're enjoying the video, do me a favor and smash the like button. It really helps small channels like mine grow and get discovered. Better yet, leave a comment while you're at it. Interacting with my community is hands down my favorite part of this whole YouTube experience, and I do my best to respond to each and every one. And by this time, at least I hope it should go without saying that I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have, so leave them in the comments down below or jump over to our community Discord server and get a hold of me there. So here we have Gaul being able to build a mine on what looks like a rainforest. Actually, it looks like there's some sort of tile here, so I'm assuming that's like amber, or it could be a new resource, because actually that doesn't really look like amber, but it's hard to tell for sure without them having the yield icons displayed. But if you look down here in the bottom right hand corner, we can build a mine on whatever tile that is, and their mine actually gives the +1 production, but also +1 culture as well. So that's a cool little thing that will help Gaul get culture, which will be really nice, to, especially in the early game, in order to stack up your culture and get through the civics that much quicker at the beginning of the civic tree. So that is a nice little boost. Let's jump on to their unique unit next. All right, so for Gaul's unique unit, it looks like they have a crossbow unit of some sort, but I'm sure we'll find out more specific information on it when we do get a first look video. My guess is that we're going to be getting the first sneak peek of either Byzantium or of Gaul on this upcoming Thursday, the 17th, followed by another video on Tuesday, the 22nd, of whichever one they decide to announce second. The reasoning behind these dates is that back in May, when they had two civilizations, they released released the Maya on the Thursday prior to the New Frontier going live, and then did the Grand Columbia sneak peek on the following Tuesday, right before Season Pass opened up on that Thursday. So I'm assuming that they're going to follow the same rhythm here, but again, obviously that's just an educated guess, not fact. I don't have any inside information, unfortunately. However, getting back to their actual unique unit, it kind of scares me that there's going to be a unique crossbow brought into the game here, at least on DD difficulty. The AI are crazy with their crossbows to begin with, so I don't look forward to running up against Gaul if I'm playing any sort of domination game or manage to get in a war with them for one reason or another. But again, like I said, we don't have a whole lot of information at this point, so now that we've covered the units, let's jump into the next section. All right, so on to the wonders that they've announced. The first one is going to be the biosphere. Happy to see that it's finally being included in Civilization VI here, and we don't know a whole lot about it at this point. So the biosphere is going to increase the appeal of rainforest and marsh tile sets, which is going to be very useful in culture games, obviously, especially if you do go for the Earth Goddess Pantheon to get that +2 faith from tiles with breathtaking appeal, but just for tourism in general, that's very powerful. Speaking of tourism, so that as far as Gathering Storm players, those of you who do have that expansion, it's also going to increase tourism and whatnot. But then they have said for people that are playing on previous iterations of the game that don't have Gathering Storm, if you say just buy the DLC pack like for the leaders and whatnot, and you're on like vanilla, for instance, you'll end up the wonder will also give you increased science yield on your rainforests, your marshes, as well as normal forests they mentioned. So that is something that you can look forward to for those of you that don't have Gathering Storm. As far as my own personal take on this wonder, I am excited. I love culture games, my personal favorite way to play the game, and my most enjoyed victory condition there is so far in Civilization VI, and I'm always a big fan of new wonders that are going to help me win that much faster. However, we don't know what age it is unlocked in. Clearly, based on everything around the wonder in this particular picture, it looks like it's going to be unlocked later in the game, and at that point it kind of has me a little bit worried right now, because you, generally speaking, when you get good at culture or good at whatever victory type that you're going to win in, you all win the game fairly quickly. And so if they have this wonder available too late in the game, it might not be able to actually be very beneficial. So we'll have to wait and find that out. But other than that, just overall, I'm very happy with the addition and look forward to learning more about it and then testing it out in a game at some point in the very near future. All right, so our next new wonder that they have added in is the Statue of Zeus. I'm very happy about this because I feel in domination games, there's very, very few wonders that are actually worth getting, especially in the early game. So I'm assuming, again, that this is just an assumption. I don't have insider information, but based on the tile sets and stuff that are around this statue here and just the name of Statue of Zeus in general, I'm assuming it's either going to be an ancient or a classical era wonder. So I'm excited about that. They have said that it also grants your civilization free military units. So I am really interested to finding out the specifics of that. I mean, if this is like a frickin' Venetian arsenal for your ground game military units, that's just going to be absolutely insane. But I mean, even a free unit or two, whatever it happens to be, is just bonus as far as I'm concerned. And then they also mentioned it's going to give you a production boost to anti-cavalry units. So I'm less excited about that, obviously, because I don't tend to build a whole lot of anti-cavalry units. However, this will be particularly useful if you do decide to play with Shaka and the Zeus, because their Impy unit is actually a spearman unit, like a unique spearman unit. So this production boost would be very beneficial to Shaka domination game, that's for sure. Other than that, though, again, depending on like how it generates these free units that they mentioned, whether or not it will be worthwhile as an investment in other domination civs that don't have some sort of unique spearman unit, time will tell. We'll have to wait until we get further details on it. Good thing it's not going to be too long of a wait. September 24th is just next Thursday, so we should be getting our hands on this fairly quickly, and we'll know one way or the other, because I'm assuming that when they do the sneak peek, like civilization reveals for Gaul and for Byzantium, that they're not going to divulge more information on this. However, maybe they'll do a developer live stream where we can get information before Thursday, like before next Thursday rather, but time will tell. Who knows, right? Just wanted to take a sec to let you know I'm now an official partner of Fanatical Games. They're a great company that you can buy 100% guaranteed official game keys from, which is great because you purchase a Steam key so you don't have to worry about using a different installer like Epic Games or EA's Origin. You can find links in the description down below for both the Windows and Mac versions of the games I usually cover on the channel. But if you're buying anything else, just leave a comment below and I can give you a link for any game you're looking to buy. Believe it or not, they have deals on regularly that are even cheaper than purchasing directly from Steam itself. A perfect example of this is the New Frontier Pass for Civ 6. I literally bought it directly from Steam yesterday when it was launched, only to find out that it's on sale for 12% cheaper at Fanatical for the next 6 days. So before grabbing your next game, consider checking out fanatical.com to help yourself and help support me at the same time. Okay, so moving on, our next subject to talk about that they announced is the new map set, which is called the Highlander map set, I think. Highlander or Highlands, one of the two. I can't be bothered to go back and check it right now. We know what we're talking about anyway, whether I'm saying it correctly or not. However, I'm really intrigued about this because I tend to enjoy playing on maps, and I always set not always, but I usually set the map options to a New World Age to get more mountains and hills, and wet as far as rainfall goes to get more forests and jungles and whatnot. So the fact that they actually made a tile set with these built in naturally, I'm very much looking forward to playing this, and I'd hate to see what playing this map set would look like if you actually do play with this map type and then still put on New World Age and wet rainfall levels. That would be particularly crazy because it looks, based just on this screenshot and like the little bit of footage that we did see, like when I was panning around during the video, that there are plenty of hills, plenty of mountains, and plenty of vegetation as well. So this is definitely something that I am very excited about and happy that they chose to add it to the game. I'm actually really a big fan of all their different map types that they've been adding to the game in over the last like year and a half or so. But I think other than that, there's not really a whole lot to talk about it until we get our hands on the actual map itself and start playing a few games with it. And that will obviously have a whole lot more to talk about and more first-hand experience, which is also obviously a lot more important than just gleaming every little bit of information we can find from these videos when they first come out. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the new game mode. It's an elective game mode. Again, this is not built naturally into the game, so you can turn it on and off at your preference. And this new one is called Dramatic Ages, as the title behind me definitely shows. And so basically the gist of this is that they are going to be every age, there's going to be either a golden age you get or a dark age. There's going to be no in between. It's just one or the other. And then golden ages, instead of being able to take your dedications how you normally do, they in this game mode are going to be actually just different like updated policy cards that you can slot in and out. So I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that at this point. I'm gonna have to get my hands on it and see how it plays out to begin with. Like, I'm excited about just trying it in general. Whether or not like I'll use this a whole bunch, I kind of doubt that, to be honest. I'll probably do a couple different games with it now that I am streaming on Twitch. By the way, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Twitch TV/GamerGramps. There's a link in the description if you're interested. Other than that, let's just stay focused on this. But yeah, I really don't think I'll be playing with this Dramatic Ages game mode very often. But I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised like I was with Secret Societies, because before, like when they first announced the Secret Societies game mode, I wasn't a big fan of it before I actually got to play it, and then when I played it, I love it, and now I pretty much use it in every game I play, unless I'm like looking to basically like min-max and try and test out a strategy, like to try and win with my new fastest way, because clearly you can't compare a victory speed in Secret Societies to a standard game, because they're just like apples to oranges, night and day different. And so they did say here that when you get into Dark Ages, they're going to be more powerful Dark Ages, and you will actually lose significant amounts of loyalties in your cities and will have them rebel against you quite often. So it is definitely going to be interesting to see how that plays out. You'll have to probably take advantage of using policy cards like, say, Praetorium for the +2 loyalty for governors. I think it's like Illuminati is a military policy card that gives you +2 loyalty for every city with a garrison unit and stuff like that, to try and mitigate it, and so you don't have to like constantly like conquer your city and damage it in order to get it back. But yeah, like I said, time will tell with this one. For now, those are kind of my overall impressions of it. There is actually some changes to Georgia that they mentioned that go along with this age, so let's talk about those quickly now. Oh, actually, 100% lied. Let's quickly talk about these policy cards first. I didn't realize until I was just skipping through this frame by frame to find the Georgia thing that we can actually get a good idea of what some of them are. All right, so these green ones look to be the new Golden Age ones. So they have a monumentality one, which gives you +2 movement for all builders and settlers may purchase civilian units with faith. I'm assuming that's identical to the monumentality Golden Age dedication that you can choose in either the classical, medieval, or Renaissance eras in the game at the moment, just in policy card form. However, there do look like some unique ones over here. So Exodus of the Evangelist, again, it looks to be basically identical to the monumentality, or it looks identical to the Golden Age dedication that's in the game here. However, Praetorian Guard looks new as far as I know anyway. Let me know in the comments if I'm completely wrong and an idiot. I'm happy to put my foot in my mouth and admit when I do. But here we have wounded units can heal +10 health points per turn and +2 production to encampment districts and buildings. That is fucking awesome. Just hands down, that is going to be great for domination games. Yeah, just straight up, that is a beautiful card to be able to slot in if you're even if you're not playing domination games necessarily, and you just end up getting in an early war or whatnot. This could be a nice card to slot in to help repel the AI from attacking you. And then Reform the Coinage here looks like it's identical to the normal Golden Age dedication for that, so let's not touch on that too long. But we have another one here, Secdina. While your projects are active, each of your citizens exerts +0.5 loyalty pressure to their city when your project's complete, and then obviously we don't get to see the rest of it. But yeah, that would definitely be a nice one. But yeah, that would be a nice one to use, say, with Eleanor, whether it's France or England version, but where you're trying to do the peaceful domination and just loyalty flipping. This would definitely be a nice tile to slot in. Or even if you're just playing a normal game, if you happen to be in a Golden Age and your neighbor's in a Dark Age, running some city projects, which you do regularly anyways, whether they're theater square festivals or campus research grants, etc., etc. If you're running those projects in some of your border cities that have high population and your neighbors in a Dark Age, you might even be able to flip their cities quite easily, but we'll have to see just how powerful that is when we actually get to play around with this game mode here. And then the other thing they said, so apparently now if you earn a Golden Age but then go after, like, get more era score after you've already secured your Golden Age, so say the Golden Age requirement as far as era score goes to get one for the classical era is 25, and normally I halt all my units and like I stop my scouts from exploring and do everything like that once you've achieved it, because any era score you get after the 25 that's required is basically throwing it down the toilet. This has now changed for this specific game mode. Like, that's still the best strategy to use when you're playing in a regular game. However, if you are in this new like enhanced dramatic ages or whatever the hell they called it, apparently now when you go up past whatever the benchmark is to get your Golden Age, your citizens have some sort of modification to the amount of loyalty. Like, instead of it being like the 1.5 loyalty that you get from a Golden Age, they have managed to get 2.109 here based on like how much air score they surpassed. So that'll definitely be something to keep in mind as well. Because, I mean, flipping enemy cities is always fun, right? So yeah, it should make it a lot easier, and especially in conjunction too, if you do play with secret societies as well and have the Void Singers, this would definitely help out significantly when you get their cultist units and start trying to flip cities from your neighbors. All right, so we actually have some other cards here that we can look at as well. We have the culture industry, where cities receive +1 culture for every specialty district, and then they get plus 25% production towards non-specialty district something or other. So that definitely looks interesting. We already saw the Secdina one. They have 2 arms where you get plus 50% experience earned for all units and plus 15 production, plus 15% production towards military units. So I'm pretty sure that's the same as the normal Golden Age dedication, as well as the Reform the Coinage and Heartbeat of Steam. However, we do have some Dark Age ones we can look through, and I can be completely honest, I don't get the Dark Ages very much, so these actually might be regular Dark Age dedications that you can choose. I'm just not aware of it, but we'll go through it anyway here. So we got Despotic Paternalism, which gives you plus 4 loyalty per turn in cities with governors, but minus 15% science and culture in all cities without, I'm assuming it's going to say without an established governor, but that is just a guess. But that actually sounds as a pretty good way to stave off the loyalty problems from a Dark Age. However, the 15% hit to your science and culture is definitely a sharp little price to pay for the loyalty. But again, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? And then we also have Samers. Oh, good lord! Those of you who are familiar with the channel know that pronunciation is like my kryptonite here. Please let me know in the comment how to actually pronounce this properly. But we got, I don't know, Samadur's Havi? We're going to call it Samadur's Havi. Anyway, which gives you plus 50% production in your capital, but all governors are neutralized and cannot be reestablished. Wow. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess temporarily it might be nice to slot in just real quick to boost something out like super important in your capital that you don't necessarily need your governors for. But having all of your governors neutralized, that is a freaking brutal price to pay. But again, it could be useful to like get a certain wonder out that you really need to get. But ooh, you definitely want to be careful when you use that one, that's for sure. Continuing on, we have soft targets where you get plus 10 combat strength versus city attacks and district defenses, but minus 3 combat strength against units. That could definitely be useful in domination games for sure. And then the Robber Barons one here, I'm pretty sure that's a normal Dark Age policy, but just in case you're not aware, you get plus 50% gold and plus 25% production in cities with a bank or a shipyard, but minus 2 amenities, I'm assuming, throughout your whole empire, or in all cities without those, I don't know. But yeah, there is all those policy cards talked about. So now hopefully we're gonna jump over to the Georgia changes that came in this. To be completely honest, I'm a little disappointed that the changes they announced just work with the new game mode and are not just flat out changes to Georgia in general, because she definitely needs some love. So if anybody from the Civ development team sees this, please, for the love of God, please give Georgia a buff. And it would, honestly, the ideas, the concepts that you outlined here would be the perfect buff to give her. That would make her an actually fun civilization to play and bring her up to like a competitive level and not just have her be a dumpster fire civilization. So what they did notice, in case you forgot about it, or what they did mention rather, is that now being in a golden age as Georgia gives you an extra wildcard policy. I think this is a great move. Sorely needed, because she definitely needs some TLC in my opinion. And with her natural inherent golden age bonuses anyway, that it's easy for her to like chain golden ages back to back, because when she gets the golden age, you can still pick dedication bonus that will help you earn your next golden age, where every other civilization in the game doesn't have that. So I think having that wild card policy while in a golden age would be perfect and give her a nice little boost, because policy cards are very, very strong in general. And then the other change they said, again, this is only to the actual game mode though, like, or when she's playing in that actual game mode, is that she can also slot in Dark Age policy cards when she's in a golden age. I think that's freaking crazy awesome. It sounds really fun. I'm probably going to play with Georgia when this game mode comes out, just because it's going to be interesting to do. I mean, recently in an Aztec stream that I did, we entered a Dark Age, and we got like the Elite Forces policy card. It gives our units plus 100% combat experience. And then the only thing that it does negatively is it like doubles your maintenance cost for all your units. But as long as you have a high gold income, or you just sit there pillaging the enemies that you're at war with. It's just super fun and powerful, and so I would love to have that slotted in with Georgia for sure, just to be in a golden age and not have to have the negative loyalty pressure from being in a dark age, because that obviously makes supporting and keeping your new cities that you conquer a lot harder to do. So being able to do so in a golden age would be a nice change for that. But overall, like I said, very happy with these changes. My only critique is I wish these changes for Georgia were actually applied to the standard game of Civilization and not just restricted to this new Dramatic Ages game mode. I think that these would be the perfect fix, the perfect buff. It works well with her, like the whole concept of her Civ to begin with, and I don't think they're broken by any means. I think if you just tacked these two little things, giving her the wildcard policy in Golden Ages, and also being able to choose Dark Ages, it would be like she would actually be a good civilization, like not even just middle of the pack. Like I don't think she'd be like top tier by any means, but she would definitely be like at least in the top ranks of the game, and not like the dumpster fire that she is at the moment. But again, a boy can dream, I suppose, right? But that's all we can do at this point. And they did mention too, I think I forgot to talk about this, so I'll quickly add it in here, that when you are in this new Dramatic Age game mode, that if it scales based on difficulty. So for those of us that play on DD difficulty, our cities are going to be a lot harder to keep, and the AI will have an easier time keeping their cities. But if you're on a lower difficulty level playing this game, humans will actually have the advantage, and like your cities will be easier to keep, and meanwhile the computer will lose their cities more often, and it'll be a lot easier to convert them and take them over, etc., etc. So that's also something to keep in mind for those of you who don't play on DD difficulty, because again, I don't mean to put us on a pedestal by any means. As long as you're having fun with the game on whatever difficulty level you're playing on, that's the important thing. So yeah, that's enough about that. All right, and then so I've mentioned it a couple times during the video when I was just talking about random stuff, but we did get official confirmation that the next installment of the Frontier Pass is dropping on September 24th, 2020, which is next Thursday. So we don't have long to wait. I'm excited to get my hands on this and start playing the new civilizations. For those of you who are watching this on a computer or on a mobile device that is linked into the YouTube app itself, I'm going to link to a series of tip videos I have where they're short videos. Each video has 5 different tips that you can start incorporating into your games today to win that much faster. So if you're interested, top right hand corner there. Other than that, though, we're going to wrap the video up here. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below what you think about this. What are you excited about? What are you not so excited about? Do you agree with me on things? Do you think I'm an idiot? Well, you should think I'm an idiot in general, but do you think I'm an idiot based on some of my own opinions on what we talked about here? Let me know there. Other than that, though, if you haven't already, please do me a favor and leave a like on the video. It really does help a small channel like me get discovered. And if you're not new here, you know just how special I am, and I need all the help I can get. But anyways, I've rambled on long enough, at least for this video, so I'm just going to shut up, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.